Injury-wise, Spears left with a hamstring, did not return. He's the only significant injury that did not return to the game at any point. So we'll monitor that and see where he's at next week. Story of the game, kind of had penalties at critical times. Had to get off the field in some of those spots to create some plays, and we weren't able to. We had 3 and out on offense or two, that too many. I mean, we had some couple really nice drives and a couple of ones that didn't do much. We didn't really eliminate the chunk plays. They had a few that we were trying to get rid of. Positive side, ran the ball well. The run defense was good. First interception we got out of the game, we went down and scored 7 points, so we flipped it on that one, which was good to see. And then, we had 2 really good drives on offense, but not enough. At the end of the day, just didn't make enough plays when we had to make plays, particularly down the stretch in the fourth quarter when we needed something to happen and we couldn't get anything going. So frustrating. I still think we're better than what our record says we are, but we also aren't making enough plays to win tight games, and we got to find a way to do that, and I got to find a way to help us get there, because right now losing games at one-score games is tough, and we're in the mix and we're fighting, and guys play hard as hell, but right now we're not doing enough to win the games, and that's why we've only won 1. So.
Can you walk us through the decision to punt on 4th and 7 there at the end of the game?
The 4th and 7 at the end of the game. We were going to turbo punt and try to see. It was only a 3-point game, so we tried to turbo punt, get the ball back. If you get a stop, and you're going to have a little bit of time left to try to manage a field goal or drive out of it. So that was the thought. 4th and 7 would have been a tough conversion for us, and we thought if we could, our defense was be able to put us in a decent position to get the ball back and try to get into field goal range. That was the rationale behind it.
You targeted Ridley 8 times. He didn't catch a single ball today.
Yeah.
Can you win without him being involved in the offense?
No, we can't. We can't win like that, and it's I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you that it was disappointing. But he's one of our best players, and he's we looked to him to try to make a play or two, and we didn't get it done at the end of the game. And we got to be better all the way around offensively. We just don't have enough consistency from series to series. We do a lot of things well, and then we stall, and then we do some more things well, and then we stall. And so I got to figure out the best way to get us out of those slumps, to get us a little more consistent, so we can put together more scoring drives. Because again, 17 points a game is not going to, it's not going to win you many games in the NFL at this point.
What's happening specifically with him?
I can't comment on anything specific. I mean, there's nothing that would have let me believe that he would have had no catches in the game or whatever ended up being, or 8 targets. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I wouldn't have expected that. So there's nothing I can point to at this point.
On the pick, did the ball just end up hanging up there for too long?
Yeah, the ball hung. We had a little bit of pressure, but I thought that if we got it up a touch quicker, we would have had a shot. I knew they were going to be in a man coverage on that get back on track spot. That's what they had done earlier, and try to take a shot to Ridley. Just wasn't timed out right, and then the ball kind of hung up. And again, didn't kill us, but it lost us time. It wasn't a scoring play or anything like that, but didn't give us a chance to try to go win the game. We lost some time off that drive.
With the lack of success in the passing game, like how much does that force you to be a little more conservative, and how can you get out of that and find a way to get Levis?
Yeah, that's my job. I got to figure that out, because right now we're running the ball well, but as you can see, that even running the ball well doesn't give you enough. You got to be able to throw it and throw it with some efficiency, and we've not done a good enough job of that, and that ultimately is on me. That's my job, and I got to find ways to put guys in better position. Got to find things that we can execute better than we have. And that's really all there is to it. You got to be able to throw the ball in the NFL to win. That's bottom line. I mean, you can run the ball really well, and we do that well. But we got to find ways when the game's tight, and we got to throw it to make enough plays to give us a chance to win the game.
So you will admit that the struggles passing the ball is forcing you to be a bit more conservative?
Yeah, I think we tried to lean into our strength, which right now is running the football. We did a lot of that throughout the course of the game. We ran the ball well, try to do what we do well, and then try to pick our spots to go throw it. And as of right now, again, we're just we're a 1-win football team. Nothing really is good enough at this point. So
was it something more that the Colts were doing, or was it by design? It seemed like all the throws until you got desperate there on the last drives at the end were shorter by design. There weren't very many intermediate throws that could maybe move the chain.
Yeah, we had a couple. I called a couple of deeper shots. They pressured a few of them. But yeah, I mixed it up relatively well. I tried to make sure we were trying to get the ball in guys' hands. They do. It is what it is. I mean, I called quite a bit of different things, and some of them worked, some didn't.
Denard said this week.
For Will, do you still remain committed to him?
I do. Yeah, I mean, outside of that turnover, I thought he did a nice job with the game. You know, I thought we need to we need more help around him. Guys need to make more plays for him when he puts the ball in certain spots, and I think we just didn't do a good enough job of that today.
Denard said this week that Legarius is the best cornerback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like he looked like the best quarterback in the league today?
I don't need to comment on that. I think Legarius is a really good football player, and I'm glad we have him. You know, Michael Pierce has beat a lot of guys on go ball so far this season, and you know, that one, there was one jump ball and there was one down the sideline. It got called for a PI, but I'm glad we have him. He's a really good football player.
Nicholas Westbrook-Akine caught his own touchdown on his only target for the game. Is there a way that you might think of getting him more involved in offense to put those weapons that you mentioned around with?
Yeah, I mean, he's a consistent player. There's room for him to get some action. I mean, he plays quite a bit, but you know, there's some passes called that may not go to him and all that, but yeah, I mean, he can help us for sure. So anybody that can help us, I'm all for.
Brian, the lack of explosive plays, do you put that on what defenses are doing, what you're not doing as an offense? How much is it hurting you when you're having to do 14, 15 play drives?
Yeah, it's not really a overall sustainable way to play. I mean, it's not for lack of effort. There's plays that are called that take advantage of deep shots, and sometimes you don't have them. But we got to find ways to be more explosive in the pass game in general, because it's all the same thing. The explosive plays is what wins in this league, and we're not doing a good enough job of finding them, hitting them, calling them, however you want to say it. It doesn't really matter where the blame is placed. We just got to do a better job of it, and it's ultimately on me to do. So.
What's the sense of urgency like at 1-4, and how much you feel like you better get things fixed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think our sense of urgency is dipped at all. I mean, we, you know, our team's competitive. They play hard, and we got to find ways to make plays when it matters to win the game. Which, you know, through the Chicago game, through this Indy game, through the Jets game, we didn't make the plays that any part of the game to give us a chance to actually win the football game. And so our urgency's been high since we started. I don't think I've ever felt a dip in it, and we just have to keep going. I mean, we got a lot of games to play, and then we got to keep rolling. The next one's coming right at us again, so we got to go play some good football teams, and we got to find ways to get better.
So you grilled the sideline judge on the non-PI call for Hopkins. What was the explanation there?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that I can't. You know, I didn't agree with a lot of the things that got called in this game,
What
but
was the explanation they gave?
they don't give a lot of explanation. They just said he didn't see it the way I saw it, and that's what it is. So there's nothing I can do about those, and I can't really comment on them, even though I'd like to, but I can't.
Are guys getting enough separation in the pass game for the quarterback to be able to make on-target throws?
I think so. I think at times, again, probably nothing that we're doing is probably at the level it needs to be. So, yeah, I think there's times when it is. I mean, we try to help guys get open and try to manufacture separation and do all the things to help them. Keep finding ways to do that. But, yeah, I don't feel like we lack separation necessarily. I just don't think we've had enough plays made.
Who is responsible for the illegal formation on the kickoff, and how is that penalty humanly possible?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't see where the penalty was. I didn't see a replay or anything like that, and then the picture didn't look like there was a penalty. So, again, I don't know. It's ultimately my responsibility. So, it was surprising.
What were they doing to get Downs open effectively today, aside from the fact he's a very good player?
Yeah, he's a very good player. You know, Denard does a good job mixing the coverage schemes, and they found some. They just found every which way they could to get him the ball because he's great with it. So they found some bubbles and they found some underneath stuff, and that's sort of what he does. And he's really good after the catch and with the ball in his hands. So he just felt like a high volume of targets with quick throws that over time add up a little bit.